Years ago, in this same parking lot, I made a video titled "The Potential Failed Human Genome." And in that video, I talked about how human beings have so much potential and how we've squandered that, and how instead of going uphill with our evolution, we are going the wrong direction, and how we can, if we care, change that. But it seems like most people just don't care. And that's not me being negative. That's me being positive and giving you the truth. Would you rather know the truth, or would you rather believe an inconvenient? Or would you rather believe the truth, or would you rather just accept a convenient lie? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Most people would rather believe in convenient lies than inconvenient truths. Because when you acknowledge the harsh reality that we live in, when you acknowledge the truth of this world, it can kind of jar your sense of stability. Most people go through the matrix in tunnel vision, focusing on their immediate family, their interests, their jobs. They don't really have a larger bird's eye view of the entire spectrum of the evil here in this world. And my goal is to not be like that. I don't want to be like that. And if that's your thing, go for it. But I think it's kind of a selfish thing to do in such a crazy world, that to just stay in this limited, tunnel vision type reality just for your own comfort, just for your own emotional well-being. Life is not easy, especially when you become conscious. The Matrix will offer you a more simplistic, basic life where you don't really have to focus on much other than yourself and your obligations. But if you choose to live that way, folks, you really miss out on life. Becoming conscious, taking the red pill, if you want to call it that, will require you to engage in the warfare that's going on in this world. We are in the midst of a spiritual war between good and evil, right and wrong, and the line in the sand has never been clearer. War is not easy, folks. Going back to sleep and pretending like everything's okay is a lot easier, but it doesn't get you anywhere in life. It doesn't help you build character, and you don't really contribute much to the embetterment of the collective, do you? So I'm not here to judge. I'm just telling you how I view things and how I try to live my life. But again, you guys, the potential failed human genome. We were designed to be enlightened, to live past 140 years. We were designed within us to be able to raise Kundalini, which is like a phone that connects us to the absolute. The New World Order has come along and polluted everything. Sprayed megatons of toxic aluminum, barium, strontium, mylar fibers, chaff, radioactive isotopes, etc. into our atmosphere. We're breathing this shit. We're filled full of aluminum because of it. We are heavy metal toxic, and on top of that, all of our precious soils. What do you think happens when it rains? The rain picks up the particulates in the atmosphere, all the metals, and it goes right into the soil. This is why we're having so much tree die-off. This is why the oceans are filled full of aluminum and metal. This is why there's so much ocean die-off as well. There's a lot more going on in this world than what you'd think. They want you to think that our littering in plastic bottles is what's destroying the ocean and things of that nature. And although there is way too much garbage in the ocean, plastic bottles, you name it, the same people telling us that we're bad people because of our littering and all this other shit, they're the same ones spraying literal megatons of aluminum, barium, strontium, mylar fiber, chaff, etc. into the atmosphere through the stratospheric aerosol injection program, also known as solar radiation management. The bigwigs call this climate engineering or climate intervention, the deliberate spraying of metallic compounds into the atmosphere to quote-unquote combat global warming. Please, we know what's going on here. The same people telling you that you're a bad person because you take long showers and you don't conserve enough water. They're the same ones spraying pesticides and herbicides and larvicides and insecticides on our food. They're the same ones responsible for all of the oil spills. The New World Order is destroying the environment, they are destroying your health, and then they want to point the finger at you. They want to point the finger at us. And now they want to push all of this environmental extremism on us. All these green technologies, etc. And although it sounds good on paper, these technologies and these new movements under the guise or under the label of green technologies, they're just about consolidating power, folks. You see, you've got to stop believing everything that you read, everything that you're told, everything that comes through your television. They label things as green technologies and eco-friendly, etc., but in fact, there's part of an agenda behind it. They just know that you have a good heart, and they know that if they can make you think that, oh, I'm saving the world, then you'll do it without question. These are Trojan horse weapon systems 9 out of 10 times. They just use the green or environmental friendly, or these are green technologies, solar, all this stuff. They use that to open the door to get in, and then once they get in and establish their foothold, then they unpack all their nonsense and you start losing your rights. Please, folks, wake up. You think electric cars are good for the earth? And all these other green technologies? No. Do you ever see what it takes? Have you ever seen what it takes to mine and harvest the resources to build an electric car? The batteries alone? But again, the New World Order, they've got people so stupefied through the education system and just the loss of common sense that you don't question these things. You just blindly accept it. Oh, gotta let go of these rights to save the world. Gotta let go of this to save the world. Blah, blah, blah. You just, boom. You don't even question it. You just let them go because you trust blindly. You trust blindly. And you may not think it's you may not believe that it's a problem, but what's next? What else are you going to blindly trust? What else are you going to blindly trust? And just because you blindly trusted something, oh, it's a green technology, or oh, this, that, and the other, that doesn't make you a good person. A good person would investigate before accepting anything or supporting anything. So get real. Get real, people. The New World Order has sprayed massive amounts of pesticides and herbicides and glyphosate and all this other crap onto the crops that you've eaten your whole life. You are filled full of garbage, whether you want to believe that or not. And I'm not going to put some positive spin on this message. I'm here to tell you that if you do not take your time seriously, and if you do not start unplugging, if you do not start getting this shit out of your system, it will continue to accumulate, because these are accumulative poisons. They accumulate over time, and before you know it, you're going to come down with some life-threatening illness, and then you're going to run to the hospital and they're going to give you more poisons under the guise of trying to, oh, we're helping you. Please, you have got to start questioning things. You have got to start unplugging. You have put so much faith in this system that you don't even have a mind of your own anymore. You don't. And we've talked about that extensively, how most people's minds are a byproduct of their conditioning. On top of that, you have the Archon's influence in your thoughts as well. Your thoughts aren't even your own. Your thoughts are a stream of non-authentic pieces of information that you've learned to identify with. It's like it would be like you getting into a car and turning the radio on, and you thinking that the thoughts are what, your thoughts are what's coming out of the radio. You listen to thoughts and you mistake them as your own. Watch or listen, I'll put a link in the description box if I remember. Watch my video called Your Thoughts Are Mind Control Installations. Your thoughts aren't even your own. And this is how the true ego is developed. The ego has nothing to do with being cocky or being confident. That's called being confident. The real ego is when you identify with the thoughts in your head, the emotions that move through your system that aren't yours, and by identifying with them, you end up becoming that. You become the unauthentic thoughts and emotions that move through you, and it turns you into something completely different. It turns you into your lower self, not your higher self. So, the potential failed human genome. We are actively engaging in our destruction, folks, instead of actively engaging in our liberation from this nonsense, from this New World Order bullshit. And just because you don't think that this is real doesn't mean that it's not going on. If you uncover, or if you care to do a little bit of research, you'll discover it for yourself as well, that there is a system here, an overarching system of evil that wants to regulate everything in this world, the food production, how much food you can even have, water. It wants to regulate all of the energy sources. It wants to destroy the pro-human future. Now, I would call this a Satan system, but it's the Archon. I don't like calling things necessarily satanic, because there's multiple different ways to view Satanism, or Satan in general. And the Gnostics were privy to this hundreds of years ago. And I don't need to hear any bullshit from the religious, brain-controlled, or brainwashed people out there. I'm religious, but I'm not going to be afraid of some term just because it's Satan. Oh, they've got you, oh, I'm afraid. They've got you afraid of words and names. Get real. The system is an Archon system. There is a negative force in this world that sits on the top of the pyramid, if you will, that controls all of these committees, etc., that are trying to run our lives. They're trying to get rid of all the ranchers and the farmers. They want to come take the land. You better wake up. No amount of positive thinking or me, I'm not, excuse me. I'm not going to get on here and I'm here to give you bad news. No, I'm not here to give you bad news at all. I'm here to give you the truth. And I'm here to give it to you with a little bit of passion, because that's how I feel about these things. I'm not going to put some fake smile on just to cater to your delicate sensibilities. You are in a hardcore world. You just don't know it because you have your blinders on. I've been warning you for years that this type of path that I preach about here on this channel does not come without strife. It will come with massive amounts of struggle. Being conscious in a world of sickness is not just an easy peasy type of thing, folks. That's just not how it works. That is just not how it works. So, how do we start fighting against this system? Well, you start by taking care of your body. You are a biochemical, biomagnetic, etheric, electrochemical, astral, physical body with a spirit weaved into it. You are a Christ consciousness dream machine. You are in a lucid dream, you just don't know it. You are dreaming this existence. Your body requires specific nutrients, minerals, amino acids, vitamins, and you're depleted, especially of enzymes. So, to start waking up, you start repairing your body, just like you would repair if you had an old vehicle that was run down. You can't just have positive thinking make the vehicle run. Real hard work and discernment and understanding what's wrong with the car via the process of investigation, investigating what's wrong with the vehicle so that you can find out what's wrong with it, so that you can repair it. Once you start understanding what needs to be replaced and rebuilt, you start putting the effort into rebuilding it, and then the car starts to run through your efforts. No amount of positive thinking can replace hard work. Hard work is how we get from point A to point B, ladies and gentlemen. You are a vehicle that requires maintenance. Start with the Dr. Kassar skin cleaning solution so you can let a little bit of light in. My battery's about to run out and I'm going to wrap this one up. The potential failed human genome. We could keep falling down the rabbit hole, or we can keep falling down into the land of the bottom feeder, here in the land of the dead, because we are in purgatory. This is a hell realm, just like the Gnostics warned us about hundreds of years ago. Or we can reassess the situation here in life, get rid of all the mind control, regain a mind of our own, and start climbing up the ladder of lights again. We can start to liberate ourselves out of this nonsense and access the angelic human genome, which is our birthright. We are designed to be connected to Source through the rising serpents, the Kundalini energy, which are just the biomagnetic electrical pathways reawakening in our spine. And once the energy gets into our brain, we can see through the first eye, and we can access the promised land again. We will be reconnected to the angelic kingdoms, and then and only then will you know the truth. We can access this through Christ consciousness. We can reawaken the serpent, we can reawaken our godhood, and we can redevelop a proper stance here in life, and we can take over. Let's take this earth back, folks. Peace be with you.